Well, it's the start of our hunt together. Kirsten has an elk tag in Idaho. It's a November 1st through 30th rifle elk tag. We've got the Howa 300 Win Mag that I've been shooting this season, and it's set up for me, which means that it's not set up for Kirsten. And I think probably one of the biggest mistakes I've learned from hunting with a lot of people and guiding is that most people don't get their guns set up for themselves. And so people that don't shoot a lot, like I do, go out into the field and they're not really comfortable with the gun. So when they go to find their target in their scope, they're moving their head back and forth and up and down and around just because the gun's not set up for them. And there's a few cheap ways to do that really effectively. And we're going to go ahead and do one of those tonight to get Kirsten set up. And so basically what our focus is tonight is to get Kirsten set up with this gun, because we're going to shoot tomorrow the next day, and get her set up so she has a proper cheek weld. And so that when she goes to put that gun up to her eye, that she feels very comfortable and she's not searching for the scope. And that when she looks in the scope, it's not all black or a little bit black. It should be all clear as it possibly can be for her. So that she shouldn't see any rings of black. The scope should just be full, and she should be able to locate the elk relatively easily. First things first, what we're going to do is we're going to take the bolt out so that we know that everything is totally safe. And it's really important that you do this, and I always have a marker on hand. And when you go to pull the bolt out, you just kind of keep pulling it until you get to the point that it's actually out of the receiver. So now it will technically fall off. And what I do is I just put a little mark, a tiny little dot on the back of the stock. And once I have that, because we're going to set up a pad from here back for her. And so she's going to have to get comfortable with the scope sitting from here to the back. So her cheek weld is going to happen in this place. You can also kind of take a good measurement from the end of the scope to where you can build it, and you can see that she's going to have plenty of distance at that spot right there. So you're looking for at least 3 inches, you know, for a new shooter, and she's probably closer to 4 than 3 there from here to here. And so we're going to go ahead and pull the bolt. So now we know where we can build. Our cheek weld is from this spot forward.
Okay.
So basically, you're just going to use one hand, and you're going to try to get your cheek as comfortable as possible. So your cheek bone is going to sit in between here and the top. And what you're going to do is when your right eye is sitting in here, you're not necessarily going to be looking at the scope at all. Just imagine there's a line, like following the Sharpie.
There, I can see.
Okay. So now go back down to find the center.
The center of where I want to be?
Yeah, where it feels normal. So you're way far back, and you're about 2 inches down. So that means that we have to raise this up high enough so you feel comfortable.
Oh, I see.
Okay. I got my dot marked right here. Okay, so you're trying to get comfortable with it right here. I want you to get comfortable with your cheek in this area right here. Looking straight on this line. There you go. That's a lot better. Come a little bit closer. Closer.
It feels so weird.
There you go. Okay, now from there, don't move it back and forth down your face. Just move it straight up to where you can see this.
Right there.
So you're basically 1.5 inches. So we're going to have to basically take this straight up. And so what we have is some Gorilla Tape, magic marker, scissors, and we have this is just some cheap foam sleeping pad that's kind of a little bit stiffer. And then we have one of these to kind of cover it up that just kind of slides over the butt of the gun. And so a lot of times when you're setting this up, we're going to have to, a lot of people want to wrap it around like this, all the way around. But all we're trying to do is do a vertical rise. We're not trying to do a wrap around it like that. And if you do a wrap around like that, what it does is it takes the face further away from the scope. We're not trying to go out, we're just trying to go up. We're going to cut a few pieces here. See how that looks? We're going to do about that big. So I have the pad sitting right here where the mark is. Go ahead and put your cheek on it again. I'm just trying to figure out how much padding I need. Okay, so this is about all the length that we need. We're going to go from our mark back to here, and we're going to kind of build your cheek rise about that long, which looks very similar to a lot of custom guns and a lot of different stocks that have adjustable cheek pieces. It's usually right about that long. So that looks good. So I'm going to cut a couple of these pieces. Okay. Can you hold it right like there? Gonna go up.
Why are you tucking it down so tight?
Because
You don't want any give in it?
hold on, no giving it.
Okay.
And the reason why we want no giving it,
Smash my face into it?
basically, if it has give, then your face will have adjustment. We don't want any adjustment. Okay, so there's our first one. Now we want to go ahead and look at it again and see if you're any closer, if it feels any better. Your face needs to come a little bit way farther forward. Your shoulder needs to go back. There you go. Reach for the trigger. There you go. That looks a lot better. All right, so one of the things what you're doing here is I can look through this end of the scope. And when I look through this end of the scope, I'm looking to see your pupil. So hold it right like there. I want to see the center of the pupil through the center of the crosshairs. Okay, now come down. So we're going to just do 3 more pieces because of how much we have to move up for you.
Oh, you mean a triple?
Yeah.
We're rocking the triple. Got it.
Okay, now try. Put your finger like you're going to not pull the trigger, but...
Are we happy with where I'm sitting at?
Yes, the
It
back
smells
and forth.
dreadful.
Yes,
It
yes,
should make
yes,
a
yes.
better fragrance.
Yes, yes, okay. This way it doesn't look so ugly.
Okay. Climb down in here.
No, that's called sun.
Not gonna lie to you, it's kind of where it sits nice for me too. Go ahead and pull the gun towards you and get set up like you're ready to shoot.
Okay.
And?
There.
And it feels good.
It's good. Yep. No black spots.
Awesome. That's what we're going for. Cool, cool. Okay,
We've done it.
we've done it.
Now we need to
Go
sight it in,
You need
shoot
to
it.
go, you
I
need
need
to
to
go
shoot
shoot
it.
it, yeah. Okay, well, we've got a massive cheek rise on the butt of this gun. And, you know, it's really not too bad for myself either. But she feels really good with it and can see the scope clearly. So the real test will be when she goes and shoots it, if she can actually find the scope. And it'll be easy for us to see. I'll just put it on the gun and say, go ahead and shoot. If she takes a long time to kind of figure it out and move her head back and forth on the gun, she's obviously not, the gun's not well suited for her. So she says it feels comfortable, and this kind of, the pad actually kind of makes it help look not so ugly. And then this elastic band here that kind of I guess it was an ammo carrier. And then it also kind of adds a little bit of comfort too. So it's kind of easy, cheap way to get a solid cheek weld on the gun, and which is really important when you go to find the animal in the scope. And I would say 90% of people that I see out there hunting do not have good cheek welds. They've just learned to adjust and deal with it. And new shooters, new hunters, and then youth, having a good cheek weld is huge. And I am a big believer in it. And so take the time, get the kids set up and the youth set up, and first-time hunters and whoever's going to shoot a gun to have a nice cheek weld, and you'll be able to find your target a lot easier, and it'll probably make shooting more fun. So that's a gun set up for her. Tomorrow we'll go shoot it and see how she does. You're really going to like your groups, though, I can tell you that much.
I can see them through the scope. Hey, I did pretty good, huh?
Yes. Very good.
I went through the same hole, but that's right dead center.
Yep. How do you feel?
I feel good, yeah. I think I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do it.
Don't know any of the pieces of the gun. You can teach them to me for my entire life, and I still don't know the right names for anything. It'll be the doohickey and the thingamabob.
Just don't touch the trigger until you're ready.
Yeah, you keep reminding me of that forever, and never look down the barrel.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's over with. We'll head up, pack up tonight and get up there, get camp set up, and scout tomorrow.
I'm excited.
And then I'll come back to the house and grab you guys.
Okay,
Sound good?
that sounds great.
Tomorrow night.